Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Sam and I'm a romance author based in the UK, and today we are kicking off a very exciting writing vlog because I think I'm going to be finishing the first draft of Project Gilbert. This ending has come around really quickly. I didn't think I was as far through the story as I was, but as the emotional conflict really started to crescendo, I realized that the come down from that was going to be a lot faster and a lot more concise than I expected. And as a result, the last couple of days of sprints, I've kind of done a lot of that. So I'm gonna do a couple of sprints today. I need to do the second part of this big conflict scene, and then I need to do the resolution of the story. I think, based on the pace that I've been working at over the last couple of days, that I should be able to get that done today. So I'm gonna jump on a sprint now. Wish me luck. Guys, I did it. I finished. I didn't think I would finish this quickly, and yet here we are. It just goes to show that when you have a habit and you write every day, how much you're able to accomplish in a very short amount of time, ultimately. So that's draft one of book one of Project Gilbert done. So again, Project Gilbert is a trilogy, and this is book one of that trilogy that I've now finished the first draft of. Now also, if you've seen my previous vlogs, you know that I am changing the point of view and tense of the story. So it was written in third person past tense, and I'm now writing it in first person present tense. But when I made that decision, I didn't go back and rewrite everything. I just started from where I was in first person present and kept going, and it made a really big difference, and that's part of why I was able to finish so quickly after that, because it just absolutely felt right. But now the first 2/3, 3/4 of the book need to be completely rewritten in the correct tense and the correct point of view. So draft 2 is going to be a really big change, and it's going to take me a lot longer than other draft 2s that I do. I have decided not to add in the other character point of view chapters, because now that I've made this change, I think it's going to be complete without them. But once I do the rewrite, we'll see if I feel that that needs to be added in as well. I need to decide if I want to jump straight into that or if I want to give myself a couple of days, but honestly I'm leaning towards just jumping straight into it. I don't really want to get complacent and like pat myself on the back, rest on my laurels, and not keep moving on, because it's really easy when you give yourself time off to then just keep not doing anything. So if I keep myself really limited to an hour or 2 hours a day of working on this, then hopefully I'll be able to keep myself going, but without burning out and without feeling like I haven't been able to celebrate the accomplishment. I don't want to let up because I am making such good progress, and I do have really ambitious goals in terms of timelines for the entirety of Project Gilbert. But for now, definitely done for today. Okay, future Sam popping in to record a little bit more on this, because I feel like I've just really glossed over the fact that I finished the first draft of a book in 2 months. I have never done anything like that before. That pace is ridiculous. And I didn't really realize it till I was talking to my mother-in-law yesterday, and I was telling her that I finished it, and she was like, already? And I realized it had only been 2 months. So I want to talk a little bit about how I did that, because I don't feel like I've been writing nonstop for the last 2 months. I feel like I've gotten a lot of other things in my life done. And so how is it that I was able to write a book from scratch without an outline in that time without just being glued to my computer? First of all, the writing group I am part of has just absolutely changed the game for me. I might do another video all about my writing group and how it works, or I may talk about them a little bit more in a future vlog, because it's been incredible. What they do is they host writing sprints throughout almost every single day. It's very rare that there's a day where no sprints are happening, and those happen over Zoom. So everyone logs on to Zoom, and at the beginning of the hour, you state your intentions for what you want to achieve. Then everyone goes off camera and on mute and writes for 45 to 50 minutes, and then comes back on at 5 till the hour and says how they got on. This is a really good format because it sort of forces you to do what you can within that period, and it gives you a really focused period to work from. And I didn't start doing those sprints until about a week into the draft that I've just finished. So most of this book has been written on those sprints. And at the beginning, I was doing 2 or 3 sprints a day most of the time, because I was in that sort of beginning stage where everything's just sort of really spilling out. And then as I felt myself start to ebb a little bit with the creativity, when I was getting towards the middle section, which is a lot harder to write, and I talked a little bit in one of my recent vlogs about how I get through that section, but when I felt myself starting to ebb creatively, I started volunteering to host the sprints so that I would have to do it. Having those sprints, having that accountability has been massive for me. And it's gotten to the point where I've really only been doing 1 sprint a day, and that's the only writing that I'm doing. My pace, especially since I changed point of view and tense, has been so quick that I'm able to maintain really good progress on just a sprint a day. I got 2,000 words done in 1 sprint the other day. Second thing is creating the habit of writing every day. Historically, that's not been what I've done. I've been kind of a binger. The same way I'll binge read something or I'll binge watch TV, I would binge write. I would do, 15,000 words in a weekend, and then I wouldn't touch it again for 2 months. And that works for some people, but when you're trying to write books to get them published, and when you're trying to create a backlist, it's not really a good way to work. I've been trying really hard to figure out where in the day writing best fits. When I was first creating my routine, it was a lot easier to write in the mornings because I would get up, I would take Kirby out, and then I would sit down to write. But I also really like sleep. And I have to work. I have a day job, so I work at 9 o'clock every day. Lately, I've determined that actually after work is a really good time for me to do it. And my husband really likes playing video games and stuff, so he doesn't mind me sort of cloistering in my room each evening for an hour or 2 hours and writing. It feels like I've been able to sort of think throughout the day about what I want to do. When I'm at work and my mind drifts, it's often drifting to the story that I'm working on. So by the time I sit down in the evening to write, I know what I want to say. I also am finding that I have a bit more energy in the afternoon and evening than I do in the morning. I'm just not a morning person. And the reason that writing every day helps is for 2 reasons. First of all, it makes me think about my story pretty constantly. And that's because that's something that I'm doing every single day. The second reason is when you know that you're writing every day, you can let yourself write less in a day. Sometimes when I would have a writing day, I would get really frustrated if I didn't hit at least 5,000 words because it felt like I needed to make a really big dent that day, that pressure isn't really conducive to good writing. Whereas if I'm writing every day, I can hit lower word counts each day because I'm writing for less time, but they add up to a lot more. So if you write 1,000 words a day every day, or if you write 5,000 words a week, once a week, you're writing more with that 1,000 words every day than you are with that 5,000 words in a day, but only doing it once. And the third is around the shame of not writing as much as you feel you should. Shame is a really powerful thing for writers in the sense that it will keep you away from your writing more than anything else. If you feel like you're not making the time that you want to make for it, then it can make it feel really impossible to get back into it. Who wants to sit down and write when you're feeling really crap about yourself? Nobody. So for those 3 reasons, writing every day is a really good way to keep yourself moving forwards and to actually get things done faster, even if you're doing less each day. So writing sprints, writing every day, and the third way that I have written my first draft in just 2 months is because this is a vomit draft. It's a disgusting term, but what I mean by vomit draft is I'm literally just word vomiting onto the page. I saw something online recently that was like, the first draft is just you telling yourself the story, and that's absolutely how this has felt. Normally I'm quite a plotter, not a pantser, but for this book, because I knew that I had a lot of time to work with, I was like, I'm gonna try things a little bit differently. And so I decided I was just gonna pants it. Didn't have an outline, didn't have anything, was just gonna go for it. I knew roughly in my head what I wanted to achieve and maybe some of the beats I wanted to hit and a couple of the things I wanted to happen, but I didn't have the whole structure mapped out. And that was really helpful because it kept me creatively moving forward. I wanted to see what was gonna happen next. Now, my first draft, it's not that good. It's not as good as the first draft for Summer Wedding in Santorini was, for example, but I've done it hell of a lot faster than I did that draft, and now I have the opportunity to go back in the editing process and make it better. And that's because I've accepted that it is truly a rough draft and it's something no one's ever going to see. Because I've written it quickly and because I write consistently and I've created that habit, I know and have created a trust with myself that I will have the time to get it right. When I was writing my most recent book, I didn't have that trust with myself. So when I wrote the first draft, I was up against a deadline and I was thinking, this draft is what I'm sending to my editor. It has to be, because I'm not gonna have time to go back and do a rewrite. So it put a lot of pressure on me. Whereas with this one, I'm able to really embrace the idea that this is just a rough draft. It's just telling myself the story. So writing sprints, writing every day, vomit draft, these are the ways that I've managed to write an entire first draft of Project Gilbert Book 1 in just 2 months. I can't believe I've done that. And already I've started the rewrite. So yeah, I didn't want to gloss over an accomplishment that I'm actually really proud of. So I thought I'd just wedge that in there. Thank you for bearing with me. Back over to Past Sam for the channel spiel. So yeah, I would call that a successful day, finishing draft 1 of Project Gilbert. I've got a playlist for all of my writing vlogs so that you can check that out. If you want to see more about the process of now rewriting the beginning of Project Gilbert and continuing on with the edits for book 1 and starting to write book 2, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and give this video a like so that I know you're enjoying it. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.